Welcome back to the channel. So yesterday on March 9th, Robinson unveiled their new helicopter, the R88 at Verticon in Dallas. Now this is their biggest helicopter yet. It's a game changer. I'm going to break it down in this video. We're going to cover specs, comparisons, why it all matters. So if that sounds interesting to you, subscribe for all kinds of helicopter content and let's jump into the R88.
It's like autopilot, dude. How do you fly a helicopter? Well, I'm going to show you.
What is the R88? The R88 is a 10-seat single-engine helicopter, room for 8 passengers, 2 pilots. It's powered by a 1,000 horsepower Safran turboshaft engine. They claim a 350 plus nautical mile range, 3.5 hours of endurance, 2,800 pound internal payload. They announced it yesterday with orders opening immediately. And this is the first new Robinson design in 15 years. They built it for utility and versatility. Let's talk about their target market and why specifically it was built. The R88 was designed specifically for air medical, utility, firefighting, and passenger transport. Now this is obviously new for Robinson. The R22, the R44, and the R66 are purely just for like passenger transport. You can do like some utility with like an R44 and an R66, but they're mostly designed for carrying passengers around. So this is kind of like a breakthrough new type of design for Robinson. They mentioned this rear fold down door, which they claim is for stretcher access. So obviously they're targeting for EMS. It specifically addresses demands for a modern, affordable, single-engine helicopter. Now the R88 starts at $3.3 million, which is honestly pretty competitive for other helicopters in its class. We'll talk about that in a moment. We'll actually compare the helicopters. All right, let's address the elephant in the room, the two-bladed rotor system. So yes, the R88 retains Robinson's famous two-bladed rotor system, the main and tail rotor. There's some pros and cons. Some pros, it's a simpler design. It reduces maintenance costs and complexity. It's lightweight, it's easy to pre-flight, and it definitely has some proven reliability. The R22 has it, the R44 has it, the R66 has it. All right, in terms of cons, obviously there's some huge ones. The first one being low G mass bumping. Now, low G mass bumping is synonymous with Robinson because there has been a lot of accidents because of low G mass bumping, but you're not talking about like a brand new rotor design. You have to think about it. The Huey two-bladed rotor system, the Bell 206, the Bell 212, all of these are two-bladed rotor systems and they're all susceptible to low G mass bumping. Low G mass bumping is a phenomena that can happen in a two-bladed system, but it's all on how you fly it. You can fly a two-bladed rotor system safely. Many people have thousands of hours in Robinson platforms, the R22, the R44, and the R66, and they have not gotten into low G mass bumping. And just quickly, my opinion on the two-bladed rotor system, do I love it? No. Yeah, I prefer more blades, but if you look at like the Bell 206, an incredibly capable platform. The 206 is actively still flown right now for EMS, utility. I know tons of operators that operate the 206 as a two-bladed system. This is basically that, just with a bunch of new features, and it's totally a capable helicopter. I know people don't like the two-bladed rotor system, and I don't love it either, but it is totally capable. And like I talked about the benefits, I mean, in terms of maintenance, pre-flight, inspections, a two-bladed rotor system absolutely has its benefits. A two-bladed system also is going to be louder compared to a 3 or 4 blade system. It's going to be less smooth, and it's also slower. Now this does matter if you're talking about EMS. If it's got a cruise speed of, you know, I don't remember exactly what they said the cruise speed was like, but like if I say anywhere from 110 to 130 knots cruise speed, is it the fastest helicopter out there? No. Does it matter in EMS? Maybe. It depends on the operator. But if you're talking about like 120 versus 140, I don't know. 20 knots difference doesn't make that big of a difference. I don't know. But a two-bladed rotor system is definitely slower than a 3 or 4 bladed rotor system. It just is. You know, I know the helicopter community expected a multi-blade upgrade. I think the reason Robinson went with the two-blade rotor system is because they prioritize affordability and familiarity over innovation here. They could have tried to change it up, but that's not who Robinson is. Robinson is a two-bladed rotor system company, and it works. They're insanely popular. They are abundant across the industry. They didn't need to change that part up. Maybe they could have, but they just decided not to. Now, Robinson has some huge advantages with this new helicopter design compared to other helicopter companies. Robinson obviously has built thousands of helicopters. The R22, the R44, and the R66 dominate the market. They have a massive parts network. They have an extensive global supply chain, parts and dealers everywhere. In terms of maintenance, the mechanics are experienced and trained. They've been through the Robinson safety course. Pilots have been through the Robinson safety course. This is a huge advantage. With pilots and mechanics that know this system, it means lower downtime, high reliability for operators, and the R88 builds on a proven foundation. It just has a fresh design. All right, let's talk about single engine versus multi-engine. Let's get into that debate real quick. So in the R88, they put a single engine. It's a Safran Ariel 2W. It's got 1,000 shaft horsepower. It's fuel efficient, it's powerful. Let's talk about some of the benefits to a single engine. It's got lower weight, less fuel burn. It significantly reduces operating costs for operators, which is a huge factor. I know for us pilots, we want to fly like the coolest, the nicest helicopter, but at the end of the day, we are potentially in a business where money matters and you have to think about the cost, and having a single engine versus a dual engine significantly reduces the cost. I fly a single engine helicopter for EMS and I feel incredibly safe. If you think about like the Bell 407, the A-Star, the EC-130, these are all single engine helicopters and they're used for EMS and they're super safe. A multi-engine helicopter is cool, but is it needed? Definitely not. It is proven that you don't have to have a multi-engine helicopter. Let's quickly just compare some of the benefits to a multi-engine. First, obviously redundancy. If an engine fails, you have another one. That's awesome. But in terms of turbine engines don't fail that regularly. Piston engines also don't fail that regularly. It does happen in any platform, but it's not like a super common occurrence. Do you need a second engine? No. Is it practical if one fails? Yeah, there's definitely benefits to it. Multi-engines are also preferred for like critical situations. You know, if you're over water, offshore, or you're in an urban environment, having a second engine like really does make a big difference. But if you're over like flat land, you can get away with a single engine helicopter or airplane for sure. Now, if they are actually able to produce this as they state in their video during their presentation on their website, then this will be an absolute game changer to the industry. All right, let's just quickly talk about the competition in comparison. We'll go side by side versus a couple other helicopters in the class. The Bell 505 is kind of similar, you know, a two-bladed rotor system, single turbine engine. It's definitely cheaper, but it's got less capacity. And in my experience, the Bell 505 has not been taken up by the EMS or utility world. There are definitely operators that do it, but it hasn't gained like that full traction that maybe they expected or that I've seen. The Bell 206, it's cheaper, it's a classic, but definitely outdated. Outdated tech, outdated hardware. Still a good helicopter, don't get me wrong, a super capable helicopter, but it is older. It's definitely harder to find parts now. It's just an older helicopter. Let's talk about the Hill HX50. I made a video about this. I'll link to it right here. The Hill HX50 is a great design. I haven't heard too much from them. Maybe I should make a video following up with them. Maybe they've done a lot. I just haven't heard a ton about it. The Hill HX50 is cheaper. It's modern as well, but it's uncertified. That's a big deal. The Hill has not made a helicopter before. Their manufacturing system, their process, their network, it's just not built out the same way Robinson's is. That doesn't mean they're not gonna be able to build their helicopter and put it to market. It's unproven right now. The H130 or the EC130, very similar in the price. It's pretty much a direct competitor. I don't have anything bad to say about the EC130. It's a good helicopter. The EC135, way more expensive, almost double the price of this. You're paying for a second engine, that reliability. You are paying a high class for this, a premium class for this. The 407, super similar, except obviously two more blades. Smooth, but less internal payload. It's another direct competitor, but the R88 is claiming to have a better internal payload. The AW119, this is the helicopter I fly right now. It's similar enough. It's a single engine, but that's kind of got a VIP focus. But the AW119 is also IFR capable. We'll talk about that. The R88 is IFR capable. Unreal. The H125, also known as the A-Star, it's rugged, but it's got a smaller cabin interior. It's kind of a much different mission profile. I think of the A-Star, kind of like the agile, high, hot, heavy, mountain type, utility type. The R88 is kind of obviously going for a different category. They claim 2 pilots, 8 passengers, much different than what the A-Star is trying to do. So in many ways, the R88 basically rivals every single one of these helicopters. They came for the king, and we'll see if they miss. If they don't miss, this is going to be the new king. All right, let's talk about the weight and let's talk about Cyclic. So Robinson claims a payload of 2,800 pounds of internal capacity. This beats out the 125, the 407. That is a ton of internal weight capacity, which is great for EMS. I don't know if they're able to actually do it. That's a a significant deal. Finally, they changed the Cyclic design. They got rid of the T-bar Cyclic. Now you have dual center Cyclics. These are obviously going to be removable. Finally, listen, there's nothing wrong with the T-bar Cyclic. I flew it for hundreds of hours. It's fine. But for a helicopter of this class, yes. If they tried to bring the R88 to market with a T-bar Cyclic, that would have been funny. Now, like any other new helicopter, there's definitely going to be some challenges in terms of the helicopter actually coming up to market, problems, pilot training. Any new type of helicopter to the market is definitely going to have its challenges. I think Robinson has a huge advantage because they are a known commodity in the industry. People know these helicopters. Mechanics, like we talked about, have worked on these. Pilots have flown these. So they are a known commodity in the industry. All right, let's get into the avionics package. This is huge. So the avionics suite: Garmin G500 TXI displays, GTN touchscreen navigators, basically state of the art. These are a huge deal. Also a huge deal, 4-axis autopilot. This is huge for EMS, utility, just your regular pilot out there flying. Life-saving. The 4-axis autopilot has a hover assist mode, level mode, it's got speed protection. This is huge. In terms of other single engine platforms that are IFR rated, I kind of mentioned them. The Bell 407 GXI is single engine IFR rated. The new not new, but new to the H125, the A-Star, I believe, they just got IFR certification. Huge. And then the helicopter I fly, the AW119, IFR rated. I've flown it in the clouds. So you basically have 3, and now you've got 4. At a $3 million price point, 3.3, I guess, is where this starts. I mean, to my understanding, I think you're going to come in cheaper than the 407. You're going to come in cheaper than an AW119, and you're going to come in maybe right at the price of an H125. Big deal. And let's just talk about IFR. I love flying IFR. There's so many benefits to it, but obviously the safety benefit. If you punch in, you can use an autopilot to get yourself out. Even if you have a nice avionics package, it is still a game changer to have a 4-axis autopilot. That's a big deal. It's a big deal. The IFR capabilities just boost safety and precision and capabilities immensely. I won't spend too much time on it, but it's just a big deal. And for Robinson to do this, it's huge. And in terms of avionics, my impressions are that the tech in this helicopter beats out pretty much any other helicopter in its category or class. I don't know another helicopter that has a better avionics suite than what Robinson is bringing to the market with the R88. All right, to finish up, let's talk about safety and impact. Fans and the pilot community wanted a 4-bladed helicopter. That's just not who Robinson is. I don't, after seeing this, I don't think they're ever gonna go for that. It's just not who they are. Maybe they will at some point, but they stuck with the 2-bladed helicopter here, and that's what we have. And it is what it is. I'm content with it, but it's fine. They also stuck with a single engine. That's who they are. They're an affordable company. They're affordable in terms of helicopters. The market is affordability, low entry, good helicopters, just stable, simple, clean, general helicopter. I haven't mentioned this yet, but they talked about how the R88 is going to come with dual hydraulic system, which is a huge deal in terms of redundancy. You basically have to have that in single engine IFR helicopters, or just IFR. You should have dual hydraulic system. So this comes with that. That's great. If you lose a hydraulic system, you still have flight controls. It's got an impact resistant windshield, which is like standard in class for anything, but Robinson's always been good at that. It also comes with an inlet barrier filter for the engine, which is great for EMS, utility. You want an inlet barrier filter. In terms of timeline, they mentioned late 2025, early 2026 for their first flight, and then certified in 2029. In terms of helicopter companies that can actually be to market in this time frame, I think Robinson has a really good chance of this. They've been through the process before. They have the network built out. They have the in-house expertise. They have the people on the team. They have communications with the FAA connections. They know how to get things certified. They've been through the process with all their helicopters. The R66 was relatively recently, so they've been through the process. I think they may actually be able to bring this to market by 2029. If they can bring it by 2030 and actually have these going out, game changer, man. I mean, it's a really, really, really big deal, and it could really disrupt the market. So my main takeaway, it's not perfect, but it is a bold step forward. I think they are really onto something, and I'm really proud of them and excited to hear what they did. I don't have any connection to Robinson, but I don't know. I love that helicopter. That's the helicopter I learned to become a pilot on. I know the R22. I know the R44. I haven't flown the R66, but I know quite a bit about it. I really like Robinson. the R22 is like, and the R44 are the helicopters that make helicopter flying accessible to the rest of us. Yes, I went into a ton of debt and it's still extremely expensive. But imagine having to do your training on like the next up, like a Bell 505 or a Bell 206. It would have been cool, but the cost would have just been even more. The R22 and the R44 are an affordable way for the general public to get into helicopters and to get into the market. So I just have a huge affinity for Robinson. I'm really grateful for what they've done and how they changed my life. And I'm really proud of them for really stepping out of their comfort zone, way different design, targeting a way different market. It's big. It's cool. So there you go. That is the R88, Robinson's biggest move yet. It's a utility powerhouse with a ton of potential. What do you think? I want to hear your thoughts. Is it a hit? Is it a miss? What do you like? What do you not like? Let me know down in the comments below. Subscribe for all kinds of helicopter content, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.